What up, though, junkies? Welcome to another awesome show of Culture Junkies Live. I'm your host, Kenshiro, and today's show is going to be awesome. First off, I have a special guest, Mr. Anthony Stokes, who's an indie comic writer. He's going to be with us on the show. We'll also be discussing the Super Bowl madness that we kind of had this past weekend.
What is he doing?
He's beginning
all
to
the trailers and stuff that we had. We're also going to be talking about the surprising critical reception to Ant-Man 3. Joining me on the show to the right of me is the great Dadakuji. What's up, brother?
Hello, everybody. What is he doing?
Oh, hey,
He's
guys.
beginning to believe.
Glad you guys are in the. I was getting scared. I was like, there's nobody saying anything. Where is everybody?
And also the dapper one sitting across from me is GQ. What's up?
EA Sports. Big.
Not in the game?
Yeah, he just did EA Sports Big. Did we get to see GQ on the?
I don't think so, but that's all right.
You don't get to see.
We don't get to see GQ?
There's GQ.
Also want to say thank you to Wolverine Solid X and the other Steve for re-upping their subscriptions 18 months and 21 months respectively.
Hey.
All right, appreciate that. Camera back on me, please. So, if this is your first time watching Culture Junkies Live, thank you for joining us. We are going to be, thank you for spending your evenings with us, excuse me. We're going to be entertaining you for the next 45 minutes with our main topics of the show. And then the last 15 minutes of the show is going to be dedicated to you, the people, in our Power is Yours segment. So, but our overlay here, let me explain how it works to you. This is what powers up the show. If you look to the left, the meter on my left is our follower goal, monthly follower goal. Once we hit that, then it triggers a follower giveaway. The meter to my right is the extra life meter. And if you reach the goal on that, that'll tack on an extra 15 minutes to the end of the Power is Yours segment, which means an extra 15 minutes of us entertaining you. And you can let us know if we're doing a good job that way. With that said, let's go ahead. All right, junkies, let me introduce to you all Mr. Anthony Stokes. He's an indie comics writer whose latest book, Intrusive Thoughts, is a, quote, atmospheric horror comic which deals with themes of loneliness, anxiety, and depression. He also does a podcast on YouTube called Super Comic Pals with fellow indie comic creator Chris Moses. Mr. Stokes, welcome to Culture Junkies Live. How are you doing?
I am doing fantastic. It's actually Super Comic Bros.
Oh, is it Super Comic Bros? My apologies. I thought it was it.
Want to give somebody else some traffic. So.
Oh, 100%. No, that's 100%. 100% true. No, thanks for taking time out to hang with us today. So first of all, tell the audience about Intrusive Thoughts.
Absolutely. So it's essentially potentially like a horror thriller. He's about a guy. He's an orphan. As a kid, he's an orphan, doesn't know his parents, and then he has like mental issues. He has depression, anxiety, loneliness, and then he has sleep paralysis, and his sleep paralysis demon bites one of his classmates. So that kind of starts a mystery about like why is that happening, and then what happened to his parents as well.
All right.
Nice.
So, what inspired you to become a writer, and why did you choose comics as the medium to express your works?
I've always had an appreciation for storytelling. You know, like I've always like a lot of great storytellers in my family. You know, my dad's a great telling stories. My mom, my aunts. You know, I just love the idea of captivating somebody with a string of words. It's always been nice. And then what's good about comics is that it's very practical, right? Like if I want to make a TV show, it's going to be like incredibly difficult, right? You need so many resources, but I think you can make a great looking comic book for like $3,000, $4,000, $5,000.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I mean, this is GQ over here. Great question for you. When it comes to, you did mention, of course, funding. What are some of the challenges as far as, getting funded for an indie comic? Because like you said, like a TV show, TV show, obviously, you need an insane amount of resources to get that done.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the challenges for getting like comics funded?
What's the challenge for getting comics funded? That is a good one. Let me say what's easy about it, and hopefully I can think of something. What's easy about it is that you have a lot of platforms, right? You have like Kickstarter, you got Zoop, you got crowdfunder. So there's a number of platforms. There's still social media platforms. There's Facebook, there's Reddit, there's Twitter, all that stuff. And there's an abundance of creators that you can build a network with, right?
He's beginning to believe.
I would say the hard thing about getting funded is there is a lot of competition, right? There's next to no barrier for entry for making indie comics, and that's the best and worst thing about it as well. We were in a recession. I mean, I'm not I'm tired. Economic kids, what are you? Economists, whatever. So there's that, right? Like, times is hard as well, and it's kind of uncomfortable to ask people for money these days as well. So I think those are the two things. And then it's hard. It's hard to make a product that's easy to sell, and then selling said product is a whole, it's a whole different skill set.
Do you think, and just to follow up on that, with, like you said, you did mention all the different platforms as far as getting money, like the Kickstarters and the GoFundMe's, various ways to get money. Would it, I guess, be a thing where maybe, I don't know. I mean, I guess the question would really be, since, comics is more or less putting, pen to paper and, getting your ideas out there, would you say it would be a little bit, I don't know, maybe in the modern times a little bit easier to get your work out there versus, like, for example, back in, let's say, the 80s, you would have to get your whole book done, go to a printer, do all that on your own versus, maybe having, like you could do digital comics or some of the other options out there.
Yeah, no, like I said, that's a double-edged sword, right? Because the beauty of it is that it's incredibly easy to make a comic now, and then the backside of that is now there's a lot of competition.
Gotcha.
Now you have to stand out in the space, and you can stay out in the space in a multitude of ways. You can stay out in the space by making a great product. You do your personality. You can be a great content creator on the side. Do the YouTube thing, the Instagram, Twitter thing. You can be a great community builder. There's just so many different ways to approach it. And there's no perfect way, which is like kind of the hard thing, because like it's hard to tell what's working exactly, like something's working, but it's hard to kind of tell, like, all right, what avenue is doing the best for me, stuff like that.
That's fair.
Hey, excuse me. It's a great Daddy Kuji here. How you doing? I'm the resident video game junkie here, as most people that tune in know. I'd have to ask everybody this question: what kind of junkie are you? Is it like video games, anime, movies, comic books? What's your main squeeze, as some would call it?
I would say movies. I mean, I gotta be honest. I gotta say movies, right? Like, I just love it. I'm a big dialogue guy. I love the language of movies. I love that you think about a movie, and the movie gets generally the most resources of any medium, right? Maybe video games you could argue, like, right, like maybe like a Last of Us. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe like the top of the AAA, sure. But generally speaking, and those are far and few between. And then you look in the summer, you look next month, and there's gonna be Creed 3, there's gonna be Ant-Man 3. I'm sure you guys will talk about that later.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so I just love that. I just love like the story, just the scale is unmatched, And I think second would be manga, man. I grew up with manga. It's had such a profound effect on me as a person, just to meet him in general. And that was like a really big part of like why I tell stories. I was grounded. I had problems listening when I was a kid. So couldn't watch TV, and then I'm a teenager, so novels are kind of out. And then my mom's friend brought home a copy of Yu-Gi-Oh! Volume 1, and I just read it, and I was just like, obsessed with it. And then somebody Russ, the rapper, made a great point. He was like, when there's a lot of something and you get introduced to it, like, you just go crazy because there's so much to consume. Like, I would go to the library on a weekday during the summer, and just have a stack of books like this high and just run through them, and just pick another stack, just run through them, run to the Chinese spot, get some shrimp fried rice, come back, and just I was just burning through them. Like, it was great, man. It was some of the best days of my life, man. Just reading.
Like, dog, no, I can 100% relate, because that's exactly the way I was. There's this bookstore up here called Borders, and I would spend like an entire day literally just sitting there just reading stacks of manga, stacks of comic books, graphic novels. It didn't matter. I just be consuming them all. But lastly, I'm sorry.
I gotta follow up to that one real quick though. The big movie junkies, I also like movies. Growing up as a kid, video games and movies. I was at Blockbuster all the time, where either renting movies or video games. But going back to the movies thing, this year, there's some pretty interesting movies to look forward to. What movies are you looking forward to seeing this year? Like your top, like the one that you want to see the most. Like I want to see Ant-Man, but I don't know if that's like
The top
for me. But I look forward to Marvel movies. Period. So.
You know what?
That's a good one.
I don't really do the whole I used to be obsessed with this stuff, but I find it's more rewarding for me and I'm busy. I'm a busy guy as well. So it's like, for me, I just love when it's like, oh, Guardians is coming out next weekend, bet. Like, that's the best thing. I don't watch trailers. I guess Guardians 3, I suppose. But, like, I don't even know when that's coming out. I think it comes out in May or something.
Yeah.
Who knows?
That's right.
Yeah, it's coming out.
And then real quick, about the great thing about Borders, because I would go to the school library or the public library. And then you kind of had to read the manga out of sequence. You never find it volume 1. Like,
never.
It's not,
Never.
Yeah, you never find volume 1. Like, so you had to read volume 2, volume 7, 5, 8, 12. The Borders and the Barnes and Nobles, they kept it stocked.
Yes.
It was Nirvana. Oh my goodness.
Yes, absolutely, 100%. All right, so last question for you. As an aside, rolling through your Twitter and couldn't help but notice that, man, you got to go to the Super Bowl this past weekend. How was that?
Man, it still hurt. I'm an Eagles fan.
Oh no, man. Yeah, that home call had to really kill you. Then I bet.
Dog, I'm still kind of, it hurts to talk about, man. I mean, it's unfortunate. My mom took me, she's amazing. And it's like, you don't want to be ungrateful, right? But just the way that the whole situation played out, right? If you get beat, you get beat, right? But I didn't feel like we got beat,
No, y'all just ran out of time.
You're looking and you see that the grass, like, cause I was watching the game. I'm watching the game and I'm like, I'm not super close. I'm like halfway there. I'm like, these players are slipping a lot, man. It was, who was it? It was, I think Pacheco is celebrating and he slips and has to regain his footing, man. And then, the call, it's rough. It's really rough there, but the experience itself was great. I think if the game had played out in any other way, I'd be alive.
What'd you think of that halftime show Rihanna put on, man?
I ain't gonna lie. I mean, I was a little underwhelmed because for me, the peak of what I've seen for Super Bowls was Beyonce. I think that was 49ers and Ravens, I think. And, she brought out Destiny's Child. The presentation was crazy. Like, it was almost like a music video, but live, the way that they presented everything. And, they had Destiny's Child come out. And it was so, like, to me, the guest, like, how they introduced the guest is the best part. Last year, you had, Kendrick, Eminem, Dr. Dre, Snoop, 50 Cent. So, like, for Rihanna to just come in, and she's great, but where the guest at? Like, Jay-Z's in the audience, Rocky's in the audience, he couldn't come up. And then, she looks pregnant to me. So I don't know how much she could really.
She looked pregnant to everybody.
And what's funny is I'm watching. I think y'all had a better view than me because I'm watching probably 100 feet away. Whatever, what have you. So I'm like, she might be, but I don't know if she couldn't maneuver as much. I mean, but I'm not trying to say nothing bad about Rihanna, but oh man, and Jay-Z popping up would have been. She did Run This Town, and what's the other one? I forgot the other one that she did. I was like, perfect. Umbrella, like what? Why not? So
I 100%. It's not like Hova wasn't there, right? He was literally right there. Him and Blue Ivy. So
Adele was there. Couldn't get Adele on stage. I don't know. It's just.
It's all good. We got to be careful though. You don't want to end up getting, possibly canceled by Rihanna's fan club, like they tried to do with Stephen A. Smith. But anyway, my man, that was kind of the last thing I have for you. But real quick, know your Kickstarter has already been funded, so congratulations on that. But you got like a week left. If you want to fill in the people, with. Tell them about Intrusive Thoughts or any other projects you got going on. Tell the people where they can find you.
Absolutely. If you love horror, you love horror that's really about themes that are like eternal, then like depression, anxiety, etc. I think it's an amazing comic book, and I got a lot more coming. I got a lot more working on. That's why I got these bags under my eyes, because I have so many comics coming out. It's gonna be dope.
Okay, bet.
Nice.
Appreciate that. And where can they see you on Twitter or on the socials or anything?
At Stokes the Writer, and then on YouTube, Super Comic Bros.
All right, guys. That's it. So thank you, Mr. Anthony Stokes, for joining us here on Culture Junkies Live, man. Take care. Good luck to you in the. But right now, we're going to move on to run the gamut. We got a couple of news items that we wanted to talk about. First and foremost, GQ, you some lost in the wrestling world?
Yeah, Jeff Jarrett's father passed away. I think it was yesterday or the day before, and obviously he's huge icon. The entire Jarrett family is a big big impact on the wrestling world.
Right.
So I mean, obviously that's a big loss there. A lot of wrestlers and people just that are just part of the industry, pouring out their condolences to the Jarrett family, and Culture Junkies would like to add our condolences to that as well. But I don't know. They come in three, so we got the second person. Dido's got that one.
Yeah, her name was Joe Raquel Welch.
Joe Raquel Welch.
That's her name.
Yeah,
Joe.
Yeah,
Put some respect on that name.
Joe.
Yeah, that actually was.
That was her name, Joe Raquel Welch.
Joe Okay.
I must have had her in my
Alright.
head mixed up with I forgot her name. She was in Grumpy Old Men. Can't remember. It was long. That's
Oh,
old.
I know who you're talking. I know who you're thinking of.
That's who I was thinking of. Who passed away.
Anne Margaret. That's who you're thinking of. Anne Margaret.
I don't know if her name was.
Yes, it was Anne Margaret.
I'm gonna have to look that
Trust
up.
me, it was
'Cause
Anne Margaret.
That doesn't sound right either.
Yeah,
Because the
okay.
lady who I'm thinking of in Grumpy Old Men had an accent, and Anne Margaret sounded like she was like from South America. Like Anne Margaret doesn't sound like a South American.
I
It
see.
might have been Grumpier Old Men.
Could have been.
It might have been
I
the
see.
second one.
No, I think it was Anne Margaret. But anyway, in any case.
But anyway, Raquel Welch also passed away. Apparently, she was a Chicago native, and she's been in a lot of stuff, all of which I probably have never watched because I'm pretty sure it's like soap operas and nighttime soap operas and movies that are sappy.
How many
And
appearances on the Love Boat? I wonder she had.
There you go. I was listening to the Love Boat theme song the other day.
Just don't
while,
sing it.
while I was washing the dishes.
No,
Exciting and
just
new.
don't sing it. What other news is out there? Wait a minute. So we know Ant-Man 3 is coming out this weekend, but there's another sequel coming out later this year that is going to be ringing in almost 3. John Wick 4? Almost 3 hours long?
That's fine. I'm fine with that. John Wick is that good, okay? John Wick is one of those things. You are sucked into the world. You enjoy the world building. You enjoy all of that. John Wick is worth that.
No, Sophia Loren. I'm sorry. I
Yeah,
interrupted.
Sophia
That's
Loren.
who I
No,
was
you're
thinking
right.
of.
Yeah, no, you're
So
fine.
Anne Margaret wasn't in it at all?
No, she was, but that's not
Oh.
who I was thinking.
Oh,
of.
that's
Yeah,
okay.
Sophia
All right, my
Loren.
bad.
Yeah, Sophia Loren was another very attractive woman in her time.
Yes.
Very, very.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Anyway,
Yes,
back
it
to what you're saying. I'm sorry
So-
for the
Oh, no,
interruption.
you're fine.
John Wick 4 with Donnie Yen.
Donnie Yen.
Yep.
And also another one of my other favorite guys wearing a fat suit, apparently.
Bro, Scott Adkins in a fat suit. Look, okay, wait. So we all I don't think we made fun of, but we were amazed when we saw the Batman last year and Colin Farrell in that penguin.
Oh, no, Colin
Suit?
Farrell,
He looked great.
The makeup department did their thing, man.
Right.
There's no doubt about that. But, like,
Scott Adkins,
Scott Adkins
in a fat
suit is going to be funny. I mean, again, it goes back to Tom Cruise as Les Grossman in a fat suit. So, I mean, I like when they get people that you don't expect to be in these roles doing that.
Yeah,
Chris Hemsworth in a fat suit for Thor. I mean, come on now.
true.
Everybody was
That's true.
hating on that one.
I didn't
that
hate
one
it. I
made
thought it was
I
funny.
that
didn't
one
hate
made
on
I thought
it
it was
either
funny.
because it
I thought it
made
was funny.
sense when somebody's depressed
Right.
to
They
that
do,
utmost
that
degree.
degree.
That's what
What-
happens.
What do we call it? Stress eating?
That's
essentially?
probably
Oh,
one
that
of
was-
it.
He was beyond stressed.
He wasn't doing
the man,
He was drinking beer belly,
the
big ass beer
man
belly.
the man caused half the universe to get snapped away. His mom died. His dad died. His brother died. His best friend died. All
Mhm.
within the span of, I don't know, a little bit of time.
Yo, wait a
So-
minute. Hold up. Scott Adkins, Takeem says Scott Atkins
White
has
Sammo
the
Hung.
white Sammo Hung. That's actually kind of funny, though.
I was just thinking because he said White Sammo Hung. If he played Tekken series since Tekken
Bob.
6, Bob.
100%.
You just
Absolutely, Bob.
that you could have just said he was Bob because
Yeah.
he was fat white
Reed
guy
said
that
he
did
could
a
do
martial
6
art.
hours of John Wick, especially if Halle Berry come back.
Yeah,
No.
I wonder
Yeah.
if she's coming back.
Yeah, no,
I
100%.
don't know. I mean, I look at it as I'm very, very excited because John Wick is one of those franchises where it's just like
Wait.
they keep getting better and better. What's up?
Wasn't John Wick 4 supposed to come out at the same day as the Matrix? That Matrix
Originally,
movie that just
originally,
disappeared?
Thank
wait,
God it
hold on,
didn't.
hold on. Did they cancel the movie? Because I thought the movie was already shot and they just pushed it back because they didn't want it to drop the same day as the Matrix.
I think they just pushed it back.
Okay, so they didn't start filming it.
Nah.
Okay.
John Wick 4 they had been working on it for a minute.
All right.
And then the
Appreciate it.
pandemic happened, and that slowed everything down. But John Wick 4, yeah, it had already been in
Yeah, okay. Because
progress
I
for a
was
while.
like kind of confused. Yeah, and I try not to remind myself of that Matrix movie because that
was disappointing, man.
it
that was
felt
that
really
was extremely
It felt like
disappointing.
they were trying to, like, in the movie, the meta, just trying to make money for no reason.
Oh yeah, no, Matrix 4 was really ill advised in my opinion. Absolutely.
Do you think they'll do a Matrix 5? Think they'll do a Matrix 5?
The Matrix 5?
Yeah,
No.
think they'll do
What
Hopefully
what
they
story are
just
they gonna
leave it
even try to
alone.
tell?
They'll try and they'll pull
A
something out of
different-
their ass.
a
I'm sure
different
they'll do
one.
it. Yeah, I'm sure they'll do something.
Fine, but I mean,
Sure they'll do something.
they've
You don't like
tarnished.
because you're a racist.
There you go. They've tarnished, not completely tarnished, but they kind of messed up the name Matrix for me in the sense of if you try to do another one, you can't have Keanu and you can't have Carrie. It's like you got to basically, like you said, tell a story of one of the other ones. But it's like that's what you
Leave
should have
it
did with this
alone.
one.
Right.
Leave it alone. Lightning, though, does strike the same place twice in real life.
Mhm.
In movies, sometimes it's difficult to get that.
Yeah. No. 100%. All right, guys. Want to say hello to Arctic Bear in the chat. Want to say what's up to Sam Taro is in the
Gaines
chat. What's
got-
up, Sam?
Got her first chat.
Yeah.
I saw that earlier.
This is our first Twitch. Actually, wait a minute. No, she said she had a Twitch. She just doesn't stream on it. But anyway, it's great to see you all. We're glad to have you here. We got to pay a little bit of bills real quick. 30 seconds. We'll be right back.
It's more than 30 seconds.
All right, whatever.
30 seconds is a lifetime. The entire Culture Junkies crew would like to thank you for tuning into our programming. We hope you are enjoying our content as much as we enjoy making it. One thing that helps us continue bringing you our unique content is viewer support. By visiting the Culture Junkies Patreon page, you will have the opportunity to select the support level that works best for you. Not only will your support help keep the Culture Junkie Nation growing, but you will make yourself eligible to receive patron-exclusive swag. Please take a moment to consider supporting us and join the ranks of the supporters you see listed on the screen. We would like to also give a special shout out to our Culture Junkies level and above patrons: DeMarcus Smith, Fab Nerd Life, Nanette, The Other Steve, and Black Crowned Knight. Remember, for as little as $1 a month, you can support a Culture Junkie. Thank you. All right, so appreciate all the patrons, appreciate all the likes, love, shares, and all that other good stuff and everything that you guys are doing. And also, if you recognize that music, Dadakuji will not be playing that game until the entire complete set comes out for the PlayStation 8.
Done. When they're done. I mean, because I played it. I played Crisis Core on the PSP all the way through. I played Final Fantasy VII, I don't know, back when I was 17 years old. That was long.
Right. All right, guys, let's get back to the main segment. So I don't know if you guys know this, but last weekend, there was this, little program called the Super Bowl that came on. And the ratings that it did, it was, I think they said, the second most watched TV program in television and in broadcast history.
Might have been
something
first
like
if
that.
I watched it.
First was
Yeah, there you
actually the most watched television program was the 2017 Super Bowl, which was the infamous choke job by the Atlanta Falcons, where they led 28-3 in the fourth quarter and lost the game. So in any case, for most junkies, right? So for most junkies, the hype of the Super Bowl ain't the game. It's the trailers that we get. So
And the commercials.
Definitely
really the
commercials.
trailers.
And
Mostly the trailer stuff.
No, trailers has become a recent thing. Commercials used to be commercials was the draw.
Right.
Trailers is just now become a thing.
And they're still dropping those trailers on YouTube before the show.
Well,
Absolutely.
the reason they're dropping the trailers is because it's so freaking expensive to play the entire trailer. You're not gonna pay $28 million just to play the trailer. You're gonna get like 15 seconds and then have them go to YouTube and watch the real thing.
Okay. One of the first trailers I remember dropping on a Super Bowl Sunday was Blade 2. That was probably like on one of the first times that they really dropped a trailer during the Super Bowl, and then of course it became the thing to do as the Marvel Cinematic Universe and all that took off. So
Right.
yeah, it definitely has changed.
Right.
There's no doubt about that.
Well, this year, we got the trailers didn't disappoint. I think. Well, we got our first full trailer of The Flash. We also got the trailer for Fast 10, which it dropped a few days early, but we still got it. We got
Fast 10 trailer.
we got Indiana Jones, but we also got teasers for Creed 3 and Transformers 7. So I wanted to ask you guys and those of you out there and that are watching, which of these trailers got your attention the most? that impressed you? Well, I
the
guess
Super
not.
Mario one. No, I don't know.
I mean, that's a teaser, but that was a nice
That was a nice
that was a
throwback.
nice callback. But of the trailers that we got this weekend, which one kind of got you really interested?
I don't know, man. I'd seen most of them prior to that because they weren't new. They may be different trailers. And after the first one drops, I'm not trying to watch the trailer because by the fifth trailer, you didn't watch 45 minutes of the movie.
Yep.
So it's like I'm excited to see Indiana Jones. I haven't watched Creed 2 yet, so I'm not going to watch Creed 3 yet. I do need to watch Creed 2. Of course, Transformers I want to go see, even though Transformers piss me off because that is not Mirage. That is Jazz. Why don't they just call him Jazz? If they're rebooting the friggin' whole thing, why is he Mirage? He should be Jazz. Granted, understand, Mirage is a F1 or IndyCar, what have you, in the original G1, right? So, yeah, they could change that because driving an IndyCar on the highway
streets.
looks stupid.
Yeah.
I get it. Then just
Yeah,
call
they
him
would.
Jazz because that's Jazz. That's Jazz OG look. Why they giving it to Mirage? Besides that, the movie does look like, it would be fun, but I still didn't watch the other one, the Bumblebee one that had all the G1, I haven't watched that yet either, though. So I have to watch that one, too. But, I mean, I'm okay, how to say this? Don't get too excited about those trailers dropping during the Super Bowl because, first off, I'm not watching the Super Bowl. Glad all you people out there love the foosball and I used to watch a lot of football when I was younger. I got other things I want to do, and I'll find out the score. I'll find out all the bull crap, and I don't have to sit there and be like, oh, my gosh, I can't believe they lost on some bull crap. I'm like, oh, well, I'll see who win. I can play my video games or I can watch whatever anime. But with all saying that, the trailers, again, they were on YouTube, so I've seen them. The commercials dropping them on YouTube, so I'm seeing it. It's not special to watch those things.
So I asked the question. He kind of really didn't answer the question.
What was the question?
The question was, which one did you like the most?
I don't know, man. The Super Mario one. Literally, that was like
I'll accept
That's
it.
like
Just
the first
because-
thing he said.
yeah,
that was-
I'll accept it.
that was the best one because of the callback. Like, I can't believe I didn't think it was real. I thought somebody put that together because I would have never guessed that Nintendo would have been like, let's grab this song from the show from the 80s, 90s that only I won't say a few. The elder, you either
The elder statesman.
You
I love how you clean that up.
Hold on. You're either young Gen X or old millennials. People who were born in the mid 80s, late 80s, they didn't watch that shit. So unless they found it on I don't think they were doing reruns either. Unless they found it some other way, that's like for people who were born in the late 70s or late 80s.
That show had its run. I think it did go into syndication briefly, but yeah, you're right. Unless you were there watching the original.
Yeah.
But I think what's and this is again showing Nintendo's very out of character creativity when it comes to that sort of thing. Because like you said, it's very rare for them to pull something like that. Yeah. I think because that song probably has persisted on YouTube and it's been out there, they were like, you know what? Why not?
Yeah.
So I think that was probably somebody there that had the idea of like, if we throw this out there, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be, it's going to catch some fire.
Yeah.
And I think and they did a really good job with that. To answer your question, Kenshiro, my favorite one, even though it goes back to exactly what Dido just said about showing too much, was the Flash trailer.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I forgot about that because I was trying to push it out of my head. One reason, like you said, they showed something they shouldn't have showed. Mm-hmm. Spider-Man didn't show it. Spider-Man kept their lips shut. Mm-hmm. Everyone was like, man, maybe in there. It's going to rumor. You don't know. Mm-hmm. Should have kept their mouth shut. I don't care if he's second build on the freaking Should have kept their mouth shut. Mm-hmm. But you know why they didn't? Because the first person on that bill is a piece of shit.
Oh, no, absolutely. Again, I don't have a problem with them showing what we all knew was going to happen, Michael Keaton coming in as Batman. I think the trailer should have ended when he said, yeah, I'm Batman. Because everything else they showed after that should have been stuff that we discovered in the film. Now, granted, anybody that's read the books kind of knows the blueprint and the map of what the Flashpoint story is. Mm-hmm. But for you to out-and-out show Supergirl, out-and-out show, just all these other things that are going to happen, it's like, I'd rather just sit there in the theater and see all of this unfold. I don't need to see it in the trailer. Michael Keaton's already got me interested to go see it anyway. Exactly. I'm good. I don't need 16 different things to be like, oh yeah, we're gonna do this too. We're gonna do this too. It's like, ugh.
Yeah.
The only shot I would have left in there
and I would have not even showed him seeing himself. I wouldn't have showed him working with himself at all. Only thing I would have hinted at that is when they were doing that track, the track stance where you get into your 3-point stance and showed that it's like he's putting his foot up against somebody else's foot, and then boom, trailer's done.
Yeah,
that's it. I don't need to see that there's two Barrys. Give me that in the actual theater. So that's how I look at it.
I mean, as much as I really enjoyed that Flash trailer, like you said, they literally gave away so much. It's the third trailer of Batman v Superman that did that, right?
No, the second.
It was the second one.
The second
okay.
one
the
gave
second
away
one,
the farm.
Like literally, this thing did all the story beats of the entire movie, right there in the trailer.
And again, they know diehard comic fans are going to
see it anyway.
Once you give us the basic beats and the bullet points, I can line up the rest. Okay, you swapped out Supergirl for Superman. It's the same story. You even had Batman give the same line, try not to die or whatever. So I'm like, if I've read the book, I've already kind of seen this movie thanks to you guys' trailer. I'm going to see it. We all are going to see it,
100%.
But God, stop giving away so much.
I think the only thing they did not give away is the major villain, which the toys gave away.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I hate that.
I saw online, and I'm just like, wow, that's different.
I hate that. I hate it when they do that. 100%. Marcus A64, what's up to you? Yeah, man. And the promotional posters, they were pretty cool. The initial one that they showed, Flash in the Batcave, I know a lot of people were making a big deal about. It's like, oh, well, they don't really want to push Ezra Miller, so they wouldn't show his face or anything like that. But in subsequent things, you can't get away from not showing Ezra Miller at all.
Exactly.
Minority Games, go just find the toy. I mean, you can search for the toy.
You can totally see that. Now, for as far as Creed 3 goes, I can't believe that's literally like next month. Like,
dude,
soon. That's next
like
month.
The 3rd.
Yeah, that's next month. John Wick 4 is next month. I mean, everything is going to be really cool. We haven't really seen, and I was slightly surprised that we didn't get another John Wick update, but we didn't really need it. So,
like I said, the fact that they gave us the runtime of 3 hours, I'm good. That's all I know about 3 hours or close to it.
Right.
I'm crazy.
There was this Adam Driver movie named 86.
65.
Was it 65?
65 million years.
Yeah, 65.
65 million. Yeah.
I'm trying to understand.
I'm like
that.
86. I'm
I
like,
thought it was 86. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
65.
But, yeah. 65 looks interesting. It's supposed to be, I guess, it's sci-fi, but essentially 65 million years ago, humans discovered the Earth.
Didn't Will Smith kind of make a movie
After Earth? After Earth. I knew you were going to go there, right?
So very similar.
Maybe this is the non-M. Night Shyamalan good version.
I don't know. I don't know. 100%.
Hey, I talked to Wolverine Solid X. Speaking of M. Night, I talked to Wolverine Solid X not too long ago. He said that new movie, Knock on the Cabin or whatever, is not good.
Really? Everybody was praising
oh my God, Dave Bautista? Yeah.
No, everybody was saying Bautista was great.
I'm sure Bautista did fine. I'm saying he's saying the premise of the movie itself
was terrible.
Just like,
it's going to be kind of hard pressed for me because that guy didn't like She-Hulk, and I thought She-Hulk was fucking good.
That's fair.
I'd have to watch it for myself.
Fair. No, again, I don't know. I think what it is one of those things where it's like it's M. Night trying to be M. Night. And it's like,
M. Night trying to be M. Night.
No big twist, apparently, but just, he trying to think like outside the box, but he ends up like on the other side of the planet trying to like shoot, jumpers and free throws and whatnot. And it's like, dude, you're not going to make it.
Sports analogy from GQ? Oh, my God.
No, it's basically just to show that it's like there's no way you can make a shot from across the world. It's not going to happen.
My big takeaway from this is you're saying M. Night trying to be M. Night. So what you're saying is he should try to be anybody else but himself.
Yeah, because his style worked well in Sixth Sense, because that was the first one everybody saw him do.
Yeah,
and it was good. It was really well done.
Yeah,
Unbreakable, really well done.
Mm-hmm. Glass.
I even like Split. No, Glass pissed me off. Glass pissed me off because it was so.
Glass was the one with Samuel Jackson. Yeah,
Sam Jackson. McAvoy and Bruce Willis were all in.
I didn't watch that one.
Yeah,
I watched the one that came before that.
I didn't watch Split. I still haven't seen Split.
No, Split is good because McAvoy really does his thing.
Yeah, I like Split, but I didn't watch Glass.
Glass is legitimately like hype, and let down. That's legit. The entire hype of it, even the entire trailer hype and all of that, is truly a misdirect. I'm like, you got to be kidding me?
Does Sam L at least give an epic worthy line like comics motherfucker? Do you read them?
I mean,
does he give one of them?
Sam is still Sam, regardless.
Right.
His character in that film is so diabolical. It's
Oh, yeah.
amazingly good.
Yeah.
So I enjoy that. It's just the entire. Again, you guys just got to see it. It's one of those you just got to watch it.
I watch it.
Yeah, and
I mean,
like
I felt at the end of Split, that whole let's try to squeeze this in thing kind of was like, you really have to go.
That's
there?
that's his problem.
Right.
It's like he writes these really cool, intriguing things, and then it's like, oh, you painted yourself in a corner. Floor is lava. Good luck getting back to the door.
I do want to see Old though. I haven't watched that yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen that either. The concept was great, and I'm interested to see it. All right, guys. If you want to talk about the Super Bowl trailers and other things that you're interested in, let's revisit it in the Power is Yours segment. We're going to move on to the last thing of the day we're going to talk about, and that is the early critical reception to Ant-Man 3. Now, we know Ant-Man 3 Quantumania comes out later this Friday.
Comes out tomorrow for me.
Comes out tomorrow for most people, the Thursday preview. I'm actually getting to see a preview tonight at the theater.
Nice.
After the show's over. So I'm excited for that.
So we know
but,
who ain't sticking around for no after.
He said, "I'm gonna get out of here."
But the critical reception to Ant-Man 3 hasn't been very good, and currently is sitting at 53% rotten on Rotten Tomatoes. Now, all of us here at Culture Junkies Live actually don't give a damn what the critics say.
Yep.
We always say, go see it for yourself and judge for
Absolute.
yourself. But this can't be what they were expecting to get right out of the gate.
Look.
Is this,
Yep.
is this a bad sign for the future of
Nope.
Phase 5 because it's just starting here? Or is it just too much of an expected departure of from the Ant-Man norm for the critics to really kind of get it? Because they say, Quantumania is kind of weird, takes place in the quantum realm and all this other kind of stuff. And maybe they just didn't get it.
Look,
Like, what do you guys think?
Jay-Z made a song called Haters, and they said they're hating. There's people out there that do review bombing. A lot of people didn't understand what was going on in Marvel volume phase 4, whatever
Phase
the heck
4.
you want to call it.
Yeah, okay.
And they're like, well, I don't like blah, 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 blah. Well, you know what? Okay. You can have whatever opinion you want. You don't have to like everything that everybody else likes. But sometimes I feel like going out of your way to try to, make it look like it's doing bad by doing review bombs or I don't know. I mean, movie reviewers, I don't look at anything until after I watch the movie because then I can understand why they said that. And for me, when I get out of a movie, like there was only one Marvel movie I walked out of and I felt disappointed, and it was really the Avengers 2. Like when I walk out of a movie, it's a feeling, and I get the feeling that you have. I can describe that feeling because like you had the first Avengers and all this stuff was brand spanking new and all this stuff. And the second Avengers, they didn't even try to recreate that, and they did a lot of stuff that kind of felt like what was the point? But you go back and look at Avenger 2 now, and then you can see some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Because it was a broader thing, a broader picture that was put together.
Yep.
And you see it, and it made, to me, the movie better afterwards. But, like, a lot of people, I think they're going in expecting all these big drops, and they're expecting all this stuff to happen because it did happen in the past, and they can't fathom that this right here is just telling a new story that might lead to something in the future. And I think it's very short-sighted. A lot of people, I think, when they watch these things, are short-sighted when they look at a lot of this stuff. So I first off, don't ever trust reviewers because there's a lot of movies out there that are regarded as classics now that were shit on when they first came out.
Oh yeah.
Tons of them.
You mean like Big Trouble in Little China?
That was one of them, but like I wasn't even old enough to go see Big Trouble in Little China when that came out. I mean, I could have. I guess my parents could have took me if they cared. Probably did.
If they cared. I love that he said that.
Yeah. But like, I mean, we talk about Michael Keaton. Everybody, Michael Keaton, best Batman. I remember being in a comic book store at 9 farting years old,
Dude,
and people were hating on freaking Keaton.
I remember people talking about it on the radio.
Yeah.
Like, morning
Hating
talk
on
show radio and everything. They were like, Mr. Mom is going to be Batman.
Yeah.
How's that going to work out?
So
Here we are 40 some odd years later. And guess what? He's still Batman. So it's like,
don't
Right.
trust.
It's like
People
apparently
say
don't
he's the
it
best
listen
worked.
to those
Batman.
people.
You know,
Yeah.
Stop being
depends
so
on-
short-sighted at
Right.
stuff. Try to look at stuff. I mean, I don't know, man. I can't tell people how to watch movies, how they want to watch movies.
Right.
I'm not gonna watch movies like how other people watch movies. I watch movies for the entertainment first off because I want to feel entertained.
Yep.
I don't put my heart and soul into a movie because I didn't make it. It doesn't affect me anything how much money they make and how much money they don't make. And I just want to be entertained. I watch bad movies to be entertained. Ain't none of y'all out there ever watch Clownado.
All right. GQ, but this is the reason I it's a little bit alarming is because these are critics. These are people that normally are highly receptive to MCU movies, but they're kind of like not really feeling this one. I'm not saying you should be worried, but why do you think the reason is that they might not be feeling Ant-Man Quantumania, whereas they were feeling other MCU movies?
I think they have gotten to. Here's the thing about being a critic. You are expected to, give this, have this particular expertise. I guess is one way to say it. I think Quantumania is probably doing something that they didn't expect. It's leaving them high and dry, and they don't know which way this could be going from, going next. At least with the first phase. Every movie was leading up to the first Avengers. Everybody knew that. Every single after credit sequence was the tease for the next movie, to the next this, to the next this, to the next this, whatever. I think with Ant-Man, because here's one thing if you have to notice about Ant-Man, and I'm Minority Game. I'm surprised you said you haven't watched any of them. Watch this one. Watch the other ones. They're all good. Every single Ant-Man has come at the right after an Avengers movie, essentially, with the exception of this one. The first one came right after Age of Ultron. Second one came right after Infinity War. And of course that was the fallout of the snap, so it's like, well, okay, wow. Interesting.
Yeah.
So this is the first time it's not really following an Avengers movie. It kind of is in the seat of an Avengers movie. Yeah, what's that?
The second one's right before.
Right before what?
Because the snap happened at the end of
No.
Ant-Man.
And
Did it come out before Ant-Man 2?
no, it came out after Infinity War.
It did come out after.
Yes.
Yeah,
did.
because remember
because that was
time frame. Yeah, that was his after credit sequence.
Sorry.
Yeah. The time. Yeah, you're right. It took place, during essentially.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, I got what you're saying.
Time frame.
Yeah.
Actual release.
Actual release. Yeah.
Okay. Thank
Yeah.
you. Sorry.
So I think this is the first time that Ant-Man is basically being put in the driver's seat of, no, you're the Avengers movie, and everything else is going to come after this. So I think that's, and to me, it's like, look, as a person that likes movies, I don't need to. It's like I just need to just sit there and enjoy it. Tell me whatever story you're going to tell. If I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't. But I think they're approaching it with such crazy expectations. It's like, dude, go sit there and watch what happens. Don't go in there saying they need to put this in, because it's like you're a critic. You're not a filmmaker. Go sit there and watch what they give you, and take your expectations out of it. But it's like, again, and I'm not going to read any of the reviews, like Dado said, until after I see it for myself, because I don't want to hear anything anybody disliked or said, and because it's like, no, I'm going to go see it and experience it for myself, and then, give my 2 cents.
Yeah, 100%. Go see it with unbiased eyes. Don't let anybody else's, opinions sway you on whether you enjoy the movie or not. Go, like we said, our cardinal rule is judge for yourselves. Even if your good buddies here at the Culture Junkies, we tell you this is awesome, you actually might think it's a piece of crap.
And people do this.
And people do that. So, without further ado, we're going to turn it over to the people. The power is yours.
People.
The power is yours.
Bless me, Father, for I have just killed quite a few men.
Sam Charles is got something. Can critics truly be unbiased, or is it all just subjective to personal preference?
I think it's totally the latter. I don't think they can be unbiased. And I try my hardest for me personally to be unbiased, because when I was a younger Dido, I think I was a very biased person.
Dido, I love
and
that.
expected things to be in how I wanted to shape it up with, and expected other people to feel the same way as I did, which makes no sense. Why would anybody feel the same way I do? I may like something and see something and appreciate something that somebody may not like. Like, for example, we just said it. Wolverine did not like She-Hulk at all. I liked She-Hulk. I didn't read any of the comics.
I swear, I don't know if he was really being real or if he was just goofing.
Whatever it was, I didn't read any of the comics, but everybody who's comics aficionados, they all said that this is truly like the comics. It's literally one of the first that is truly like the comics. And I'm like, well, that's a good thing. So, but I don't expect anybody. I'm not going to tell you to like anything. I tell you, I was having a conversation with a coworker yesterday about One Piece. And he says, "Nah, I'm not gonna watch it." And I'm like, "That's cool. I'm watching. I've been watching it since 2001, 2002,
Right.
something like that, and I'm gonna continue. And I enjoy it. And it wouldn't be one of the big three, my honest opinion, if it wasn't good.
Minority Games, I'm going to warn you, there is a live-action adaptation of Fist of the North Star.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to watch it, though.
It's so bad.
I don't know if you want to watch it, though. You might want to skip that.
It is HBO Originals movie, but from the early 90s bad. Because that's when it was made.
Hand is right. He's like, do you mean a good adaptation of Fist of the North Star?
They can do it.
There doesn't exist one right now.
There's not a good one.
There's not a good one. Wolverine Solid X actually did bring up Last of Us, the last episode that came out on Friday for the Super Bowl.
Awesome.
Highly emotional episode. Man, it was
went
so good.
harder than the game.
It was so good.
Because I was shocked in the game. I was like, holy crap, I can't believe that I just saw it. But it felt like it hit me harder.
Yeah.
Watching it.
Like literally,
Like,
even
wow.
even after the end, when the brother did his thing after he did his
Had
thing.
to do what he had to do.
He had to do what he had to do. Even when he was getting ready to do it, I still screamed out no, even though I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. I still screamed out. And I was like, no.
I think what I like about The Last of Us, and this is just shows that what you can do with really good writing and really good acting. Like I said, I've not played the games. Obviously, I know of the games. I know their story, I know the premise.
I'm in the same boat. But
for them to have introduced these two characters in episode 4 for like one scene, and then you get their story in the next one, and you actually are heavily invested in their story within one episode, basically.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh my God, dude, wait, what? And then it's just like it ends the way it ends, and you're just like, I actually cared about them characters. I normally don't do that.
Yeah, you don't get emotionally invested a lot of times, right?
You have to really, really, really develop a character for me to care.
Mm-hmm.
And for them to do it as fast as they did with those two characters, it's just like, dude, that show is really good.
Now, I didn't play the game, just like GQ, but the little boy, Sam, was he deaf in the game?
No, he was not deaf in the game. He 100% could speak. He and Ellie did, develop like a relationship still because they were both kids and whatnot. There was some stuff that could have put a little bit of. I mean, they didn't really need more character development because the thing is, in the game, when Ellie, met Sam, they kind of became kids again. Like they were doing stuff and they had to go through a toy store and Sam picked up a toy and he wanted to take it, but then he got berated by his brother like, we only take what we need. He was just like, man, whatever. And then like you didn't know that Ellie took it, and then at the end, before everything happened, he gave it back. She gave it to him like, here, blah blah blah, because they actually became the kids again. And then boom, you can't be a kid in this world.
Samtaro brings up, they said the show is really, literally becoming almost better than the game. It's expanding to such a deeper level with the characters. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And even to Dido's point, I like how you get the impact from all sides in this episode.
Yeah.
It's like Joel looked like he was like kind of softening up, like, you know what? We're kind of having a little bit of normal for a second. And then what happens, during the episode, obviously not going to spoil it if you've not seen it, but then what happens is all of a sudden Ellie is harder by the end of that episode.
Oh,
she is.
You can see
it's
it.
like you could her childhood that was starting to come out.
Yeah,
gone.
Yeah, completely gone. Because it did kind of come out when they were sitting around and talking about the comic books, playing the soccer and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it was a little bit like that in the game too, but a lot more emotional feel to it than what you call it. And no hand. Elliot Page did not do the voice of Ellie at all. It was somebody else. And I think the PlayStation 3 version, they kind of made Elliot look like how Elliot looked before Elliot is Elliot.
Yeah.
But no, he had nothing to do with
Ashley Johnson
that
from the little girl from Growing Pains, the waitress in the Avengers that Captain America saved, so on and so forth. That's from Critical Role. She's the one that did the voice for Ellie. But going back to the Last of Us and how games getting adapted, that's why I always get upset when people are like, oh, it's not like the game. It needs to be a 1-to-1 translation. No, it doesn't need to be. And this is why, because you can improve on the source in greater ways by not making it a 1-to-1 direct translation. Now, one of the knocks that Zack Snyder has as a director is that he's not talented enough to actually make an original story and embellish it and make it better than the source material. His two most successful movies, Watchmen and 300, were literal, almost one-to-one, direct translations from their graphic novel sources. And that's why people loved them, because they were actually good. But when he was relied on to do original stuff, Sucker Punch.
Sucker Punch was actually fun.
Sucker Punch visually was pretty fun, but I think story-wise it kind of suffered. For some people.
Story-wise, again, I think the problem was they marketed the movie in such an odd way, because the story they were telling was actually really interesting. It's just there was no way to make a trailer that showed that story. There just wasn't. Like, if you go back and look at it, if you try to make a trailer out of the hospital part of it, or the sanitarium part or whatever, the mental hospital, that wouldn't make any sense. So you have to show the fantastical, over-the-top visual, anime come to life scenes.
Yeah.
So I think when people got there, they felt it was a bait and switch. It's like, no.
Yeah.
If you really sit there and pay attention to that film, that was actually a really well done film. It's just, again, a couple years too early.
Yeah.
Because you drop Sucker Punch now with the way the audience is trained to accept all of this crazy comic book stuff, they would have probably actually enjoyed that film.
Right.
So
No, honestly, I still make a point that, the one-to-one translations of games to film or comics to film or whatever, when you're changing mediums, you have to make adjustments.
Oh, no, absolutely.
100%. You have to make adjustments.
Even going back to original Spider-Man, you can't have a radioactive spider in modern times.
Yeah, no, he died.
Well, not it's like
the spider wouldn't live.
The kids wouldn't be there on a field trip to see that.
Yeah,
it's like, oh yeah, come on into the nuclear plant. It's like, no, absolutely not. That's not happening.
Right.
So
100%.
Things change and it makes sense.
Right. Follow Marvel, one-to-one translation is only cool for something that's limited in the story. If you got a franchise, you got to vary it up a bit. 100%.
Absolutely.
Right. 100%. I don't know what else, anybody else kind of wants to talk about as far as
Wolverine's trying to get a hype train. He over there just
cheering by himself.
I appreciate it.
A bit new way. I don't know I don't know if Ken Sherrill wants to go a little bit long. He's gonna be late for that movie. You're gonna be like, oh my god, I don't know if I want to go.
Oh, you can even hear me all trying to wrap up the show early. Like, listen,
I'm literally letting the show.
I don't know what nobody else wants to talk about. I'm about to be out.
literally letting the show go do what it's supposed to do.
I gotta get out of here.
Nobody else is throwing out any other topics.
Feelings on Valentine's.
Feelings on Valentine's.
So they've been talking about Valentine's for a minute in the chat. So what is everybody's feelings on Valentine's Day as a thing? Hold on. Wait. Kind of sad. What Minority Games is going on?
So we need to play therapist here. Like, we're here
I'm
for
not
you,
a
brother.
licensed therapist, and
Sorry that
whatever
you
I
feel
say, you
sad,
better
but-
take it with a grain of salt.
We're here for you, brother. So if you want to vent, go ahead. He sounds like he said he was sad. So I hate to hear people. I didn't get shit for Valentine's Day.
Okay,
man.
I have to explain something to you.
Go ahead, man.
When you were born with a particular set of chromosomes, on Valentine's Day you ain't gonna get nothing.
Yeah,
in this country.
Yeah,
in this country,
not for you,
in this
brother.
country, absolutely.
Because in
But
Japan, it's the opposite. The girls give the guys chocolate.
Right.
is
How?
true.
I mean, well, they have their own days. You have regular Valentine's Day, but you also have White Day.
No, White Day is the
did you
next
just say
month.
White Day?
Yeah, it's called
it's
White
literally
Day.
White Day.
That's
the next
hilarious.
month. That's March 14th.
Yeah.
Here's the
But
funny
Valentine's Day, the guys give.
Here's the funny thing. There's actually supposed to be a National Boyfriend's Day.
You never hear him talk about that.
Nobody even knows what day it
They
is.
claim that Sweetest Day is supposed to be the opposite.
Please,
And
that Hallmark holiday.
it morphed into second Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
though.
it is.
Yeah, man, dog. He didn't even get that. He didn't even get that for V-Day, bro. Yeah, that's tough, man. I don't know what to tell you.
All right,
Yeah,
I'm very sorry.
Wow, wow. Okay, Wolverine. All right. Yeah, we gonna leave that one alone. We gonna leave that one alone, Wolverine. Married for 8 years. Oh man, hey man, look.
I personally don't want my wife to give me anything for. I'm in the same mindset as she is. If we're gonna do something special for each other, it's not gonna be on the commercial holiday where everybody else is doing it. Because I see these. I don't want to call them names, and I don't know what to use to describe how I feel about the people that I see because of the place of business where I work sells flowers. And they mark them up, and you get less. And you see these yokels, and I gotta get. I'm like, I'm not down with first paying overpriced for stuff that's going to die.
Absolutely.
Getting or giving anything that's gonna sit there and collect dust. Food is always great. I love to go eat, but everybody else wants to do the same thing.
Absolutely.
You and your wife need to pick a day. It's 365 days in this goddamn year. Throw a dart at a board and pick a day, do something special. Don't freaking do it just because everybody else is doing it.
But honestly, to speak to Minority and his pain, I get it. I was in a long relationship.
I'm not trying to take away the
No.
pain.
Well, let me
I am
finish.
saying don't.
But let me finish. So, he says he's normally not like this either, and I get it. For guys in relationships, there's a lot of tendency for us to feel unappreciated by our significant others, right? Especially when you've been in a long relationship. And that's probably what he's going through right now. So, I can understand. I can understand those feelings.
And we're not
And
talking about anniversaries.
I hear you there, bro.
You have to do
I hear you
things.
there, bro.
You have to do things on special
Yes,
other days.
It has to be
not
on
just that.
not the day that is designated. It has to be on other days besides just
anniversaries. You would do something special too, but you
Right.
have to do, as I said, 365 day in a year. You can't
When's
just
the-
be like one
when's the
day of
last
the
time we
year
had a
do
leap
something
year?
special. 360.
No, but for real, when is the last time? Because I usually
It's
I
every
used to
4
keep-
years.
I
Well,
understand
you're right,
that.
but I
When
don't
was the
remember
last
when
one?
it was.
The last election. The election year. It's
okay.
every election year.
Was it?
Yes.
Oh, that's fair. Okay, that's
so
a fair,
so
that's
it
a fair
was
way to
2
follow
years
it.
ago?
Uh-huh.
2 years ago was the last leap
Yes.
year?
That's
And then the next one
crazy.
will be the next election.
Okay, Adobe Girl says,
Hey,
what's going on?
Okay, so Marcus864, you sent $10 Starbucks gift card to a girl and still haven't opened up the email yet. Well, can you unsend that? I mean,
I mean, that's $10, brother.
First off,
That's $10, dog.
first off, how long ago did you send that?
Right.
I know.
Hey, look, in Minority Games, you're right. You guys got a young baby, so that also complicates matters. I would caution you, don't be hard on the wife, man. Like, really, man. She might be going through some stuff that you don't really realize. Just love and appreciate her. Your day will come. I promise you. Your day will come. 100%.
All right, Wolverine Solid X still dripping that Kim K is going to call him back. I don't know about that one.
Hey, man.
You
You,
would
you don't
wanna-
keep on waiting, dog.
Dude, I wouldn't want to be involved with her.
Yeah,
at
keep
all.
on waiting,
Yeah,
man.
you
Not
know,
with
I don't-
Ye.
I don't think he's thinking long term.
But not with Ye.
Long-term,
But not with Ye.
short-term.
Right. Ye will
To
still
me,
be
not even
getting
that.
at
She
you.
feels like her
Uh-oh.
life is
Have our gratitude.
Look at Minority.
Looks like Ken Shearer
hitting
gonna have to-
hitting
gonna have
the
to
extra
bow
life.
out and miss out on the extra life.
her,
Right.
her
Hey,
life
helping
feels
Hey, man, no,
like
look, I got time.
a
The
total
movie doesn't
headache.
start till midnight, so I still got time.
All right,
I
well,
still got time. And actually, we can hit that extra life in a few minutes when it hits 10 o'clock, so we can give them that actual extra
right, there you go.
every
Yeah.
15 minutes.
Appreciate for how
Minority Games. Look at
I'm going to have Kanye in your
Right.
bushes.
Yeah. Her life feels like an entire headache.
Ah, no.
An entire
That was
headache.
100%. No, that's hilarious, dog. No. No, that's hilarious. No, for real. So we got to figure out what we're going to fill this next 15 minutes
Oh
with
no, we
people
can
in the
feel
chat.
it. There's no absolute. We can definitely feel it.
Yeah,
We're talking
so
about significant others. I am the significant, and I'm always looking for another.
always.
other
Sam Taro says, so anyone see the Pikmin 4 trailer? I feel like Pikmin is one of the most underrated Nintendo games.
Yes, I
Wait,
love
the
Pikmin. Pikmin
what?
was a fun game to play.
Pikmin
I love
is
that game.
That's the one with
probably one of the
what's his
most-
name? Olimar.
Yeah.
That was one of the games I actually played.
Here's the
Pikmin
crazy
is
thing.
probably one of the most. It is, I think.
I only know about Pikmin because of Smash Brothers.
Really?
I know
Yeah,
about it.
I've never
That's
played
your
any of
connection?
I've,
Played
yeah, I've never played any of the mainline Pikmin games.
Speaking of Smash Brothers, one of the memes I saw right after the Super Bowl was saying that the Rihanna halftime show.
Yes. Look like
Was that
Smash
Smash
Bros. A
Brothers?
Smash Brothers stage.
I didn't.
Yes.
I didn't watch it. I need to watch the playback.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
I don't
Sam
know.
Taro says yes, but this one you get to play a girl. I mean, everything,
I thought
equality
she was
is always-
around
always
before
a big
then,
thing.
though.
It's like Minority Game says, I'm glad I'm not dating. Shorters out here are trash. Hey, 100%, brother. I hear you, dog.
Okay.
Man, I'm about to play Metroid Prime for the first time. Oh, the Metroid Prime remastered, the one that just came out.
I should do the same thing for the first time.
Yeah.
I loaded up
Yeah.
GoldenEye on the Switch the other day. It's weird.
Wait a
Look,
minute. So,
see, look.
is
Hold
this
on.
the second time?
No, it's not. It's not the second time. I think they tried to do a remake of GoldenEye for like the Wii or not, but it was a legit remake. It wasn't
Yeah,
the
yeah.
original one. See, my thing has always been people have nostalgic goggles on when it comes to GoldenEye, and that's all I got to say because everybody
no.
says this is amazing.
There's definitely that, but the Switch has got a problem of the controls are
You gotta
weird.
fix it.
Yeah, you got to go through a whole bunch of
yeah,
stuff.
you
got to
fix the controls because apparently you can do the dual stick stuff, but you have to change it to another one. Because
Mhm.
if you remember how if you held the 64
Yeah, yeah.
controller a different way,
Absolutely, because you have the C buttons.
Yeah,
that's the one thing that's
You
Yeah,
can do
but-
the dual stick one.
All right,
but
time for the extra life. Bam, there it is.
All right,
But,
countdown has
yeah.
begun.
Countdown has begun.
I was not. I tried to get into GoldenEye like everybody else back in the '90s, and I told everybody to.
Oh man,
Yes.
when GQ used to come over my
Made me
house with the
sick.
Rumble Pack, and we used to dog, man, that shit was fun.
that,
used to
and then
feel
of
ill.
course playing it at the anime club.
Yes,
Yeah.
bro.
Playing that at the anime club on the wall was hilarious.
Yes, man, on the projector.
That
yes.
was ridiculous. And
That
again,
was-
obviously, now here's what's so silly about it to me. And,
Ah.
and I think the Switch version doesn't have online, but the Xbox One does.
No, it's the other way
I'm
around.
sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. The Switch has online.
Wait
But
a minute,
Xbox
what?
doesn't.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Xbox One. That's like some contract thing because remember,
Yeah.
Microsoft owns Rare right now,
Yep.
and Rare made GoldenEye. And in order to get GoldenEye on anything, Microsoft said we want it too. So they had to come to some kind of contract.
Somebody take that time off of Takeem
Akeem
for us,
swear
please.
he always be trying to post links in the chat, man. Always.
You know, somebody
forever be doing that.
fix that for us, please.
Hand of Omega says
Yeah.
Bad Batch almost seems to be leading up to Andor. Emperor's appearance was chilling. Thank you for that spoiler. Appreciate that.
What?
I haven't been watching Bad Batch.
I don't know why you're
so-
not watching Bad Batch. Bad Batch is awesome.
No, it's good.
Look,
The last episode I saw was where they were going for the treasure. I think what was that, the first or second episode? I don't remember.
I don't know,
um,
man. This
Treasure
whole
was the
season so
fourth
far, I don't know.
episode.
Was that the fourth episode? Okay.
Yeah.
How in the heck do you even extrapolate that? Because this whole season, they haven't been doing anything. They've been going on these missions that literally haven't been leading to anywhere.
Nope.
They haven't.
What's the last episode you saw?
The one today where they went to a mission to Sid's mine to get some stuff. Their ship got stolen, and Omega's feeling sad because Echo left,
Right.
and Tech, as she says, Tick, apparently didn't feel anything about her leaving. She started getting, having an attitude.
Omega and her Kiwi
Yeah.
accent.
Okay,
But it like they didn't do anything. They went there to get the stuff. They got trapped in the mine.
Mhm.
They got out of the mine. Tick and freaking Omega come to a compromise. They get out of the mine. Episode over, and I'm like, they didn't do anything.
I got
What's
you.
going on? So how do you extrapolate that?
I think they're in the middle of a weird limbo because it's like, okay, they're in that spot where it's like you're in a universe that's already had a bunch of huge major things.
yeah.
And you're in this weird spot where, okay, since you're a filler story, more or less, because that's really what Bad Batch is,
Yeah.
you are, okay, Order 66 happened. So, okay,
Mhm.
that affected your crew and your group or whatever.
Mhm.
Now it's like, okay, the Empire exists. So it's like all your stuff can't really have a major effect because we've have this established canon. Now, granted, it's a giant galaxy. It's an entire universe.
Yeah.
They could be able to do something.
They can do whatever the heck
Yeah, they can do
want.
whatever
There's
they
some
want.
kind of
But I
metaphor.
think story-wise, they're trying to always fit them into major stuff that you already know, which is, to me, is a mistake.
Well, then it doesn't seem like they're doing that. The only thing that was a major
Mhm.
was getting rid of the clones and starting to bring in like
The stormtroopers.
the
Yeah, yeah.
stormtroopers or whatnot.
Yeah,
that was an
actual,
important episode. But like
Mhm.
outside of that, I'm like,
I
what are
like
you
how
guys
they did
doing?
that too, because that shows Sidious is playing 16-degree
Yeah.
chess, man.
big time.
So-
He's playing so many moves in advance. It's like, okay, you can't really do anything, and it already kind of fell into his plan.
All right, so Fallen Marvel's talking about the latest happenings in Marvel Comics with Black Panther. So I want to talk about this with you guys, and for those of you that aren't reading John Ridley's run, Mega Sean and I have been conversing back and forth about this, but honestly, dude, this might be the wackest run of Black Panther I've ever seen. This man, John Ridley, may be responsible for destroying T'Challa as a character. And the reason why I'm going to say this, right? So his run begins with, T'Challa always being, up to some clandestine shit, right?
Mhm.
So he has sleeper agents all across the world, and one of them happens to be, a childhood friend that heretofore nobody had ever known about, named Jai, and he gets killed. And T'Challa is emotionally broken. We're talking like really emotionally compromised,
Mhm.
like
Oh, I heard about
unbelievably so. So he goes to great lengths to solve Jai's murder and all this other kind of stuff. Meanwhile, prior to this, Wakanda has become a democratic nation, so it is no longer a monarchy.
Okay.
The Folasade, who is the new president of Wakanda, has been doing all she can essentially to extricate T'Challa's control, his talons, and over Wakanda, and she has finally successfully fully gotten him out by having a treaty with Atlantis, aka
Take
Namor,
him to Detroit.
to now part of the treaty is T'Challa is now exiled. He is excommunicated from Wakanda.
Okay.
He's considered no longer Wakandan. And beyond that, he is irrevocably destroyed the relationship T'Challa has had with Storm to the point where she wouldn't even acknowledge that she's even in love with him or anything. And like, she doesn't want to see him. She doesn't have nothing to do with him. Like, literally destroying this man.
Okay.
He used to be president of the Avengers. He had a falling out with Captain America. I don't think he's president of the Avengers anymore.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's pretty bad.
So
It's pretty bad.
A little bit of Beverly Hills Cop mixed in with there's some other movie that somebody loses their country and then has to come back. I'm sure there is, but yeah, him losing his friend is Beverly Hills Cop basically.
I guess, but you know, the deconstruction of T'Challa, I don't know if they needed to go to this extreme to really try and make him interesting. He was already interesting. Yeah, you could make the argument that T'Challa as a character was a little bit overpowered. He was boring. You know, obviously having that whole intergalactic, you know, nation of Wakanda that they had in the comics right now, where Wakanda essentially has colonized and, you know, a whole nother planet in the galaxy or something like that. That was
so
a
they're
wild.
the colonizers now?
That was, I guess, Ta-Nehisi Coates, you know, wrote that whole thing. And as much as it was interesting, it was just kind of like, wow, really?
That is, to me, that pretty much emphasizes the major problem I have with comic books.
Yeah.
Once they are out there for so long, they get so convoluted and so ridiculous because you have all these different hands in the pie and all these different people, you know, in the kitchen cooking up their little thing, throwing this into the stew, and it's just like, at some point, it's like, okay, I understand you know, you got to carry on the legacy or the whatever of the character.
Sure.
But come on, man, intergalactic Wakanda.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, man. Yes, the intergalactic nation of Wakanda. It was the wildest thing ever, bro.
And again, I think that's why
Makes
some.
sense to me.
No, it was wild.
I mean, I guess, but I mean, it's like, to me, that's sometimes shows that some of these books every now and again should just be retired. I understand that, yes, they sell or whatever, but maybe sometimes just retire the book for like 6 months or a year, then bring it back. But if you're going to go in there and mess it up that much or to go that far left field, is it even worth actually telling some of these stories that they're telling?
Guy Jordan over there is saying, you know, what about Peter Davis, Joe Fixit? Now, they've been bringing out these books that have, you know, kind of been, you know, 90s flavored. Both DC and Marvel has kind of done it. But specifically with Marvel's books, we've had the New Fantastic Four, which was Ghost Rider, Wolverine, Joe Fixit, and Spider-Man again, you know, having a series of books. Yeah.
Ghost Rider, Joe Fixit, Spider-Man, and who?
Wolverine.
As the Fantastic Four?
The New Fantastic Four. Yeah, no, they actually did that.
Go ahead, dude.
No, speaking of Ghost Rider, did anybody not see the Juggernaut Ghost Rider?
There's a Juggernaut
Ghost Rider?
Yeah, I saw something where somehow Juggernaut got Ghost Rider powers. I didn't quite understand how that happened, but it was Juggernaut
Ghost Rider?
Ghost Rider, yeah. Marcus Aces Force. I'm just like, I don't remember. I think it might have been Combo Breaker.
Well, what's the combo breaker, Pre? Exactly what it is? What is it that he's trying to shift the narrative to? He might as well just, you know, say it. There was a Shriek Rider. Shriek Rider.
Is that what he is? Not a Ghost Rider? It was on TikTok, and I vaguely remember it.
He says no idea. I just wanted to try it. Okay. Hey, that's fine.
That's crazy though. Juggernaut with the powers of Ghost Rider on top of his own power. That's disgusting.
Isn't that just overkill? Isn't that overkill?
Okay, Marvel running out of ideas. Remember when everybody got Hulk powers, then Thor hammers, and Spider powers?
Yeah,
and now everybody's getting Venomized. So it's just like, it's like, okay, at some point, you need to just stop. Okay, hold on. Juggernaut because the writer for the let's see, because the writer for Ghost Rider or something. I don't know. That's just
Shriek was riding on Juggernaut's back. Wow. Okay.
That's crazy.
Honestly, and speaking of Venom, that's one book I just can't get into. Like I've never been like I was a fan of Venom when he was in Spider-Man's book, but ever since he's been on his own, I've never been a big fan of him. Okay, so Dido is showing me. Wow. This looks wild though.
So okay, so Shriek is the writer and Juggernaut is the cycle.
yeah,
is that what they're
essentially, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. Wow, that looks pretty sweet.
that looks cool.
Sam Taro
And that-
says, I'm not well versed in comics, but someone suggested Hellboy to me. So Mike Mignola's Hellboy, if you're into horror and stuff like that, I think you'll like it. If you want to give it a try, well, okay. Well, let's put it like this. If you don't want to invest in the comic books yet, try the movies. You could try the movies, or
Of
you could try
Hellboy?
the ones with Ron Perlman, the old ones.
I'm about to say, don't suggest that new one.
No, not the David Harbour one. You can skip that one altogether. Don't do that one. But we're talking the old ones with Ron Perlman. Try those. Or there was what was that? That was that one animated movie they did, Hellboy, Blood, and I forget what it is.
It's Hellboy.
Yeah. It's a Hellboy animated. There's one actually. If you want to get into Hellboy, try those first. If you're not well versed in comics, obviously you've come to the right place. We can point you in the right direction with a bunch of different things that you can actually get into. Guy Jordan says, "Why is nobody talking about Mark Miller's Prodigy?" I haven't been reading Prodigy. So
I have not either.
I couldn't.
My thing with comics, the way I usually approach comics, honestly, is I'll just pick up a graphic novel, or a collected, run of something, because that's how I did Injustice. I didn't buy Injustice individually. I was just like, skip this. When y'all bring out the collected volumes each time, I'll buy that.
So you get it.
No, absolutely, because I don't have time. Not only that, it's more expensive to buy it individually anyway.
Yeah.
Like you get the one collected graphic
That's what
novel.
I'm
That's usually
talking about.
yeah. You get the collected graphic novel. You're
Blood
good.
and Iron. Thank you, Fallen. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Blood and Iron.
Yeah,
What's
that was the animated Hellboy movie.
Oh,
I was talking
okay.
about. Yeah.
Fair enough.
So the other question out there is, Hannah Omega saying, who should play the roles in an irredeemable movie? Now that would be interesting. Irredeemable. You may
That
or may
was
not
a
remember
good-
that.
I remember
You remember
Irredeemable.
Irredeemable? Yeah.
I thought Irredeemable was great. and
Irredeemable was fantastic.
The problem is you have
Anthony Starr playing Homelander already, because he would have been perfect.
you already got a Homelander like guy, and he.
Yeah.
I don't know who came first, Invincible or Irredeemable. I have no idea.
Invincible.
Invincible came first.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But like, this guy was Homelander, except he was like, "Fuck everybody, I'm doing what the hell I want because nobody can stop me."
Yeah.
Right.
Now, Homelander apparently can be stopped. There's a way out there to stop him.
Yeah.
Nobody. They were trying to figure out how to stop this guy.
Yeah. You
And
couldn't stop the
They
Plutonian.
couldn't stop him.
Could not
and if
stop
I
the
remember
Plutonian.
correctly, and I could be wrong. I don't know if I remember correctly because it's been a while since I read the book. He was around at the end of the death of the universe.
Yes, he was.
The universe was dead, and he was
Yeah.
still around.
Yes,
Wow.
yes, he was.
Now-
Honestly, I'm trying to remember what was he worked at. It was like they used the cliche old Superman, secret identity. He worked at a radio station.
Yeah,
or
I
something
think it was
like
a
that,
radio
right?
station.
And he was like,
He decided to tell his
he
Lois
decided
Lane.
to tell his Lois Lane that
Yeah.
he was in love with her and stuff like that, and she rejected him.
Yeah.
And this motherfucker
He
snapped.
said,
Well, I
"Fuck
hope you don't expect
everybody."
me to save you because I don't do that anymore.
Exactly.
exactly.
Exactly that.
Yep.
He snapped so bad. It was crazy.
Here's the other thing about it. Speaking of that realm, when is Invincible season 2's drop? Because I need
Sometime
At some point this year.
they need to hurry up.
Yeah, they do. 100% they
That's
do.
only season 2.
Yeah, it's
Why
only
does it
season
feel
2.
why does it feel like I saw season 2?
No, you
Because
have
you've read the books.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even reading the books, it was different.
Like, dude,
Well,
it's
yeah,
been
but a lot of stuff
it's
is
been
different.
2 years. It's been 2 years
I get
since
it.
the first
Again, I
season.
get it. I mean,
It's been 2 years?
Yeah,
Holy crap.
I believe. Yeah, Invincible, man. I'm definitely looking forward to the next setup of Invincible next season. That's gonna be awesome. So there's a little bit of time left. Looks like this extra life is running down.
Running down.
That's cool.
Everybody's ready for season 2, buddy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%.
Elimination Chamber for WWE fans is this coming Saturday.
What was this pay-per-view? Wasn't a pay-per-view NXT like a week ago or something?
NXT pay-per-views, I think they kind of they have a schedule very similar to
could
the
you-
main pay-per-views, which
Can you
they're not even
refresh
called
me with
pay-per-views
NXT?
anymore. They're called PLEs,
Oh.
premium live events.
Oh, Marcus 864 says he was there.
Oh, he
Oh,
was
that's
at.
awesome.
Nice.
But I need somebody
Oh,
to
that's
tell me what's
NXT.
going on in NXT. And the only reason I say this is
Mhm.
I could have swore NXT was pseudo development.
Yeah.
When I say pseudo, it's because they already did their development, but they're putting them in, but they're not in the main show.
Right.
Why was New Day NXT tag team champion?
Because having them there, because okay, here's the thing about NXT, with it being a like you said, a developmental. It's really good to have people that have been on the main roster come down to developmental to give them that experience. Because, like, for example, Samoa Joe, who, okay, we're going to run this just so I can finish this.
Yes, yeah, go ahead, finish it.
Samoa Joe, who, of course, has been on the indie circuit and Ring of Honor and various things all this, throughout the years, he could have easily just, when he came in, went right to the main roster because he's got that experience. Triple H was like, no, I need you to hang here so you can get these young guys up to speed on what it's like being on the road, in the locker room, how to, conduct yourself, because he has that lived-in experience. So having somebody that's from the main roster go down to the developmental and spend some time working with them gets them even, it seasons them even faster. Because imagine if it was just a whole bunch of people that were all in the same boat as far as experience. This is my first wrestling gig. This is my, just whatever. Okay, you're all going to have the exact same experience. But if you have somebody that's already been there, big on a big show, and comes down and is in the locker room with you and guiding and teaching, that's just going to give you a much better class of people, coming out of it.
It does make sense.
Mm-hmm.
They don't really get to do the territory things anymore because WWE is WWE.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're going to get ready to wrap up the show. We hope you had a lot of good time. I want to thank Minority Games for donating 1,000 bits and hitting the extra life. We enjoyed entertaining you for the extra 15 minutes. We appreciate all of you guys for watching the show as it is in its current form. We want to also thank our special guest, Mr. Anthony Stokes, for joining us on the show earlier today. Next week's show, we're going to be talking to Mr. Jeffrey Haas. You see him right here. He's pictured with the late, great Kevin Conroy. Yes. So he'll be joining us next week. Come back next week right here, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central for Culture Junkies Live.
He fainted.
Any last comments before we get out of here, fellas?
No, I just hope everybody has a great week, and hope to see you again next week.
All right, guys. So for my great friends, the Great Adakuji, GQ, and Adobe Girl, who's over there running the board for us and the computers. No.
You think you was
No.
close?
I was not. No, I was not.
Took me weeks to get tickets for this show.
I am
It's
Kashiro.
It's Schwarbage.
I will see you guys next week.
Garbage.
I hope you have a great one.